Good morning. It's Wednesday. My God, I'm thinking it's the second day of my carrot juice fast. Oh, I don't know what else to call it, and I'm feeling robust.
Yeah, a famous comedian once said, "Why do they call it a fast when it goes so slow?"
Exactly. Really good point. I mean, last night I went to bed and I was dreaming of all kinds of foods floating in the air around me.
Flying pork chops?
Yeah, exactly. So, but you didn't tell me that part when you were preparing me for this fast.
Oh, I wanted it to be a surprise.
All right. Well, the dreaming part of it. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Conversations with Dr. Johnson today, and the Reverend Dr. Johnson himself is here.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Dr. Johnson. So today we were going to continue this conversation, which is one of the loves of your life, right? About detox.
Yes.
And
yes.
specifically heavy metals.
Yes. Yes.
Why heavy metals? Why are you in love with heavy metals?
No, I hate heavy metals. I'm in love with getting rid of heavy metals.
Okay. And most people don't even think about it.
No, and most doctors don't even think about it. Interestingly enough, this is a news article from this morning. It's from the website RT.com, Russia Today.
Yeah.
Indian authorities identified 2 possible culprits behind mystery illness that made people collapse in the streets.
Wow, they just collapsed.
Yes, over 500 have collapsed, 300 have been hospitalized, 1 person has died so far.
And they're collapsing because?
Because of this mystery illness that they haven't really tracked down yet. But what they're saying is they believe there are 2 possible culprits. Number 1, heavy metals, such as nickel and lead. Number 2, pesticides.
Wow, amazing. So why is this not in the front of our consciousness? It's just like the virus, right? Viruses have always been around, but for some reason it's like we just ignore them.
Well, heavy metal toxicity falls into 2 categories, acute and chronic.
Okay.
Doctors in medical school are taught about acute heavy metal toxicity, which is exceedingly rare.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing, because if you have acute heavy metal toxicity, you will either die or you will have permanent neurologic damage that cannot be reversed.
Wow.
Okay.
So they can't just like wash it out or do something to...
You can, but it's too late. The damage has been done. The horse is out of the barn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And we can't do chelation at that point? To
Well,
try and remove some of it?
We certainly should. We could and we should.
Yes.
And there would hopefully be some degree of recovery, but to reverse acute heavy metal toxicity completely, as far as we know, is not possible.
Okay, so that was acute. Let's talk about chronic.
Chronic, okay. Chronic is when you're just absorbing small amounts of heavy metals from the environment every day.
So you would say we all have chronic toxicity.
Virtually everyone in an industrialized society has chronic heavy metal toxicity.
Wow.
We're exposed to it every day of our lives. We cannot detoxify or eliminate. So
That might be the cause of a lot of the stupidity.
well, heavy metal toxicity is very bad for your brain.
It causes brain fog.
And aluminum toxicity is thought to play a major role in Alzheimer's disease.
Wow.
Yeah.
So with this toxicity, people are going to become more stupid.
Unfortunately, yes.
Wow.
And they're going to age faster, and they're going to dramatically increase their risk of heart attacks and strokes and high blood pressure, and dramatically increase cancer risk, because heavy metals suppress our immune system.
All right. So what is the intervention, Doc?
Okay.
What do we do?
Okay. So in chronic heavy metal toxicity, we almost never know for sure where the heavy metals came from. Obviously, if we know where they came from, if, for example, we're treating a welder, and the welders inhale the heavy metal fumes.
Yes.
So if we're treating a welder, obviously we've got to get him retrained to a healthier, safer occupation. Okay?
Hopefully.
But in most cases, we don't know where the heavy metals came from. So we do the acute detoxification, which is intravenous EDTA chelation therapy.
So talk to me about this, because I did the first one. I'm going to be doing the second one this week.
Yes.
So how many of it is required?
Well, it depends on the situation. In general, if you've got heavy metals, you're going to need about 20 chelation treatments.
So do you do a
start
diagnostic to determine which ones and how much?
Yes.
So after the treatments, you
Yes.
can then measure
Yes,
how much of
absolutely.
it, how effective it has been, and how much of it has been removed.
Yes, absolutely.
So even though you classify all of them as heavy metals, is there a difference from treating strontium or lead or mercury or any of them? Or is it the same strategy?
They're pretty much the same strategy.
Okay.
Now, if we get done with a big series of intravenous chelation, and let's say that all of the heavy metals have gone down to
Minimal.
acceptable levels,
Yeah.
except for mercury.
Yes.
Sometimes mercury is harder to get rid of.
Okay.
So in that case, we're going to give that patient a pill called DMSA to mop up the rest of the mercury.
All right, and that would then help with that
Yes.
extraction.
Yes.
All right. So okay, that's how often should we do that?
Well,
The chelation.
in a perfect world,
Yes.
or realistically?
Well, realistically.
Well, in a perfect world, you do your initial detox with chelation,
Yes.
whether it's 20 treatments, 30 treatments, or in rare cases as many as 40 treatments.
Yes.
Over 25
months.
years, I've seen a small handful of patients that needed even more than 40 because their heavy metals were so severe.
Wow.
Okay, so let's say you need 30 treatments, which
Yes.
is kind of common.
And you would say about 2 or 3 a week.
2 or 3 a week. So
Yes.
if you do 3 a week, then that's going to take 10 weeks and you're going to be fully detoxed.
Okay.
Now, ideally, on a long-term basis, you're going to want to get about 1 chelation treatment every other month as maintenance to mop up whatever you've been exposed to in the meantime.
So chelation treatment, that would be one treatment.
Every other
one
month.
IV.
Yes.
Okay, not 30 again.
No, just
All right.
just one individual
one to
treatment.
maintain. And in the meantime, I brought some supplements.
Yes.
As maintenance, right?
yes.
Your very favorite Broco Protect.
Yes, that's not for heavy metals, that's
Yes,
for
for
general
general-
detox.
yes.
In this article, it said they thought the problem in India was either heavy metals or pesticides.
Which this would address.
Broco Protect should help take care
Yes.
of that.
And then we have some other exciting things here called toxin pool and metal pool.
Yes.
Right.
Metal pull is a heavy metal detox. Unfortunately, for a typical case of heavy metals, you really have to start with the chelation if you really want to address this problem thoroughly. This will help a bit, but it really doesn't have the ability to take out lots of heavy metals. This could be taken after your initial series of chelation as a maintenance treatment.
Okay. And we know that toxins, heavy metal or general toxins,
Yes.
are stored in fat.
Yes.
Why does the body store them in fat?
Well, because that's
The safest place?
it's the biological equivalent
Of a
of
closet.
sweeping the dust under the rug.
Under the rug.
We get it kind of out of the way because
Lock it up in fat
Yeah.
under the way.
yeah, so that it's not available to be deposited in the brain and the heart and the bones and the
So the
kidneys and
body
the
is
liver.
smart.
It
It
is.
says lock this stuff and hide it away.
Yes.
And then when people try to lose weight, they can't lose weight because the body refuses to release it.
Well, the body says if we get rid of all this fat, that's going to release all these toxins into your system, and that's
Yes.
not a good idea.
Okay.
So a lot of people that have difficulty losing weight, it's because they're so toxic.
All right. And not just toxic in their brain, but toxic.
Not just toxic thinking, but actual physical
Yeah,
toxins.
and if you get so toxic, your thinking and your speaking also becomes toxic.
Well, it can, yes.
That might be why we're getting in California, it's becoming more and more liberal. All the toxicity from the ocean, the mercury from the fish, and from the dentist.
Should we declare this to be a political free zone when we're on Facebook Live?
Well, I'm going to ask our people who are watching to see whether they agree that we make it a political free zone so that they can be very safe. It could be no aggression, no microaggression. Everything will be very safe. But they know me. They know that Dr. Johnson is apolitical, but I am very political. But I love you all. So thank you for joining. Thank you for watching and liking and loving us and hating us. It's all good.
And sharing.
And sharing.
Yes.
So share it and please detox. Heavy metal. All of us have chronic toxicity. Thank you.
Thank you.